Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the second night this week of the ANZ HGC Premier Division here on the Blizzard ANZ Twitch channel. Thank you so much for being here. My name's Kit Fox. It has been one hell of a night of hot so far. We have had Twisted Vision versus Xylophone Dudes in game number 1 with TV coming out on top. We're now halfway through game number 2 of Pleb2Pro versus Mindfreak, and Mindfreak at the moment, after a comfortable win on the Infernal Shrines. It wasn't as crisp as they would have liked, Disco, but they came out solid in the end.
Oh, I think Mindfreak would probably be pretty happy with their performance. They didn't get pressured too much during that game, I don't think. And Pleb2Pro definitely need to pick themselves up off the floor and get back into this game number 2. They have the capability to do it, but I think this season with a couple of roster swaps, especially not having the captain Moops we've already expressed tonight, that they're just a bit. There's going to be a bit, displaced. Their leg, they haven't got their hot legs as a team quite this season, and coming up against the reigning champions of the HGC ANZ from Phase 1, who again haven't dropped a series, and only being beaten by region rival Crimson in one map. So far, it's a big order for them, but you know what? I don't know. I think they're lacking direction.
I think you're right. Let's see if P2P can, steer the ship. That's what they need. They need a captain. They need a leader, somebody to take charge. And I mean, you look over at Mindfreak and everybody, sans Madhack, screams to me, just experience. They scream, we know what we're doing. It's like, they're like each other's extra limb. They just don't think about it. It just happens naturally as we just sort this lobby out. And once we get into this one, we are actually going to go over to Battlefield of Eternity for game number 2, Disco. Another one of those maps that we were talking about where the Hanzo does find a lot of value. He slipped through and the Serrated Arrow build came out there from Konya, but P2P, their draft wasn't bad. They just lacked the damage when it came to the team fights.
Yeah, and I think they could have played the map a little bit better as well. Battlefield of Eternity, it's going to introduce a bit more of those team fighting mechanics. So if they want to stick with those team fighting compositions, they can go for that. But I'd really like them to focus on picking up the mercenary camps, sort of in between or just during the objective phase with the Immortals. Try and put pressure on Mindfreak to force them into a situation. Make them play reactive, and that's at least going to give Pleb2Pro the ability to come up with a game plan or come up with a situation, a setup, and enact. Where you're always playing these reactionary games, you're literally on the back foot every single time. So that's what I like to see Pleb2Pro do on Battlefield of Eternity.
Having said that, it's a tall ask. I mean, on paper it doesn't really sound like much, but to be in the driver's seat against Mindfreak is an extremely rare position to be in, and to take an early lead is something that it's probably your best bet when it comes to trying to get the wind over them. Yes, they are great at never being down and out, but you want confidence when you're against a team like this, and every little bit helps. That first frag, that first objective, that first camp steal even, those little things, the 1% plays, what is going to make this one for Pleb2Pro as we get into Battlefield of Eternity. Let us know who's going to take this one out in chat, ladies and gents. Will it be Mindfreak or will it be Pleb2Pro? Mindfreak, this could be it. This could be the last game. This is their series win condition, and it's Battlefield of Eternity.
That's it. This is the map. This used to be, I considered, and probably still is in some circles, one of the most favorite maps of the ANZ region, purely because you get your biff on in the middle. Nothing screams brawl like the Battlefield of Eternity down under. First off, Genji's removed by Mindfreak. Solid ban there. Devastating damage can really jump onto those characters that get clipped by Immortals or just get clipped by some sort of CC. So by removing him from the place, they really weaken a lot of damage that could be picked up by Pleb2Pro. Plus, they'll probably go for the first pick Blaze in this situation.
You would think so. I mean, we saw what Blaze was able to do just on the previous map of Infernal Shrines, and look, it got more value in the sense that basically the positioning was telegraphed. Let's see will they prioritize that, or will they give Fat94 his Muradin? Depending on what this ban is, I mean, they're both priority. But then that will allow the Blaze to fall through, and on a map like Battlefield of Eternity, yeah, it is going to be Muradin's taken away. So probably going to be first pick Blaze. We'll see how this one goes. Or will Mindfreak, will they go for something else? Will they go for their damage dealer first? We saw them throw all their eggs in that Valor basket, and it paid off for them in the end.
This is an interesting stage. So they've banned it actually in the Muradin target ban against Fat94. But this does mean that Mindfreak could possibly pick up Hanzo instead, maybe giving Pleb2Pro the Blaze pick. If that's sort of what they are hoping to play here, hoping to pick up, it's a really it's a struggle right now for Mindfreak. What do we pick up first? But it really means, what do we give the opposition?
Hello. It is going to be Hanzo that's prioritized. So they obviously value that more over the Blaze. Will that go to Mad Hacks? Will it go over to Fat? One can only hope. But we'll see Ben back on his beloved ranged assassin at some stage this season. But then who will tank? We're just going to have to switch up the roles yet again, Disco. But that's why we like Mindfreak. They're so talented, they're so deep, and ain't nothing you can do is going to put a darkener on their day, rather. So they've now got themselves the double pick. They can still go for the Blaze. Li Ming and Malfurion were picked up by Pleb2Pro, so still a lot of cards on the table here for me.
Yeah, look, a lot of options there. They could get their Blaze in this position if they wanted to. So there's still everything on the board. Li Ming's a good pickup on Battlefield of Eternity, fighting into the Immortal. I feel she kind of gives a similar thing to, say, Hanzo does. Not 100%, but in the fact that when you're fighting on the Immortal, her damage is both hitting the enemy and the Immortal, and it's such large amounts because she's such a heavy burst hero that it's doing a lot of damage. So while she's not, say, sustained on the boss, it is a ton. It is a lot of damage during that objective phase.
There it is, Blaze and Joanna basically just giving Mindfreak exactly what they wanted. So their front line is sorted, their damage is sorted. I mean, we saw them rolling a double support last time with the Oriel. I mean, will we see the Oriel again? Karazim by itself, we've seen him solo support. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, at the moment, it's basically... It's like letting a 5-year-old kid loose in a candy store with a blank check. That's what Mindfreak, their eyes are like dinner plates looking at this draft at the moment. They've got so much they can choose from. What do Pleb2Pro do here? Where do they go from here?
Well, they're really open, right? They've still got quite a lot of warriors in position they could take. Garrosh still is on the board, and even though we haven't seen a lot of Garrosh play, Battlefield of Eternity does open up for him. Obviously, you can throw targets into the Immortal when it's doing its AoE effects. So that's in itself is a great play. I actually really like the Karazim ban because we've seen Mindfreak play double support, and that double support is provided through Karazim. So I like that pick. They can't do anything for me. They can't do like a sneaky Valor and Tassadar because they'd be doing a solo support Tassadar. So it doesn't really work on the side of Mindfreak in that regards. But no Karazim means no double support. So Mindfreak have to pick up probably another damage dealer. And what do you mean? They could go and a support to round off their roster.
So they take away Urel. That's smart considering Pleb2Pro do need a front line. They need more front line. They need a solo laner as well. Still, it's their first two picks were solid. You've got that Li Ming, you've got that Malfurion. You need something else complement that. You need something to enable the Malfurion. Stitches was an okay pick last time, but I felt it was a little bit ballsy. Maybe somebody that doesn't rely, you know, if you miss, you can still actually follow up because it's all about those big plays, right? On top of the Malfurion route. There's so much more that you could do there. I mean, Arthas is a potential. Shall we see him after the grand nerfening? I mean, we can only hope. I mean, because his lockdown is very, very strong with Howling Blast, Cross Tempest and whatnot, but it will be Dahaka and Tracer. Now, I'll be honest with you. I don't know how I feel about Tracer into a Johanna and Blaze, but should he get the kills on Hanzo, that just might be the turning.
I wonder if they're thinking with the Trace there, like, are they concerned maybe about like a Jaina being picked up by Mindfreak? Phoenix on the board. Tracer can still sort of have effect against that, but Uther, that's obviously the Uther pick's coming out to challenge the Tracer when the Tracer does dive in. Yep. If Uther is about, he can throw a stun onto her, and that's just going to allow the rest of the Mindfreak roster to follow up. High damage from Phoenix is going to be good as well, with obviously the Blaze and Johanna combo. A lot of CC there, so you can see a lot of damage come out from Purification Salvo. It's a powerhouse on Mindfreak, but the Tracer pick could be devastating against Phoenix or Hanzo. And there's the Grosh I was talking about earlier as well.
That's not bad. That's what I was talking about. I mean, the alternative to Stitches, the Garrosh is just able to throw it back into physics and basically line up the routes wherever he feels like it. Like you were saying as well, you can hock them right at the feet of the Immortal, get that cheeky stun off. So there's so many options you could do with the Garrosh here, but he needs to be able to catch Uther, if anybody. I mean, he's the only one without a ridiculous amount of mobility on that team, and if he goes down, that is just going to leave everybody else on that front line for easy. They will fall over like dominoes. So I think that Pleb2Pro here, should they be able to prioritize their targets correctly, they are in with a chance here.
100%. It's all about target priority, but it's also, I guess, about punishing the mistakes from Mindfreak. We've seen again, Johanna and Blaze, they are such a strong front line that when they're together, it makes it really hard for the opposition to sort of get in there and achieve anything. We look at Pleb2Pro, they've got the Dahaka, they've got the Garrosh, so they can kind of split the front line up a little bit by throwing heroes to odd positions, Dahaka pulling people out, but they really want to be doing that to the DPS. So even then, they are trying to position themselves around the Blaze, around the Johanna. So I guess you could say Pleb2Pro have a huge workload ahead of themselves to get to the delicious gooey center of the Mindfreak candy.
How many licks will it take, Disco? How many licks? That's all I want to know. Speaking of Mindfreak, they are on Team Red, the current ANZ champions. We've got Vanilla on Phoenix, Mad Hacks on Uther, Ryu on Blaze, John is Hanzo, and Fat94 is Johanna. And it looks like we have got a pause called by Vanilla just to start the...
That's all right. Just I love the conversations. Fat94, like, I just spilled my milk. Hang on, I gotta clean it all up. It's great streamer Fat94. He's got some great new emotes as well. If you ever get a chance to check out his channel, especially his milk emotes for his subs. Very funny indeed. But while we're waiting, we've got Pleb2Pro. They're obviously on the blue side, and we'll give them all a shout out while we're waiting for the game to get underway. So firstly is back on the Dahaka, hoping to give a better performance than we saw last round. Encores on the Li Ming, looking to pump the damage out onto Mindfreak. Konya. Now, Konya is we saw in Phase 1, Konya back on Nuttin's Downfall, I believe. Actually played a tremendous game on those sort of Maya picks, those heroes that needed to get to where they wanted to be and just dish out a ton of damage. So that's Konya on Tracer here for Pleb2Pro. Let's see if he can... Let's see if you can live up to that reputation. Vicarak is on Garage, and Physics is on Malfurion.
Let's see what they can pull off here, because the potential is high, but they need to pick the right target. I mean, everybody on Mindfreak has got a disengage. Let's see how far Konya has come from his... I believe he was in We Met at Bunnings a couple phases ago. Let's see if he's been able to step it up here and come a long way, because he is on Tracer now. Didn't really have the best game, it must be said, as Hanzo in the previous map. Looks like we'll be getting this one into this game very, very shortly. But what I like about the Battlefield of Eternity is that it just adds that cheeky aspect of something else you just need to watch out for. You think you've got your target in its sights, as we saw in the Twisted Vision versus Xylophone Dudes game. Twisted Vision, they were just way out of position, and the Immortal was the MVP in a lot of those fights, stunning them in place, just allowing Xylophone Dudes to come back and take the advantages.
Advantages indeed, but this is looking good. Both teams, I feel, have really good lineups here. Mindfreak Pro with Hanzo can be able to shred the Immortal phases when they come up here. But of course, we can see the exact same setup from the Li Ming and the Tracer as well. So either team, like if they want to dive each other on their Immortals, they've got those good plays. If they want to go pick up camps, they can both do it. I mean, both teams have everything here. If we had to talk about any little disadvantage, and these are really slim pickings here, is that Mindfreak's wave clear is a little bit better
A little bit. A little bit. Man, it is a lot better. You've got that Hanzo, you've got Phoenix, you've got Blaze. They drafted exactly the same style on the Infernal Shrines Disco. Exactly the same. Looks like we are ready to go, and we're just waiting for the host to start the game. Once we do that, we'll... oh no, the player has to start the game. So it looks like Vanilla just has to press that unpause button. But yeah, back onto the wave clear. They did exactly the same in the last game. They've got everything that they need. Sustain, damage, disengage, engage, you name it. Mindfreak, they are the whole package. They're perfect.
They've got it, but it's a 2-lane map. And I think that's the point to bring about wave clear, that it's not as dramatic because you can have the 4-man lane and then Dahaka in the top. So Pleb2Pro don't have to worry as much in regards to wave clear. So the advantage that Mindfreak has is really minor in that element. But like I said, if we're trying to pick apart the teams right now, what either can and can't do, that's probably one of the big highlight moments.
Let's see what this game delivers us. Will there be a punch on? No, I don't believe so. It looks like it's going to be Blaze versus Dahaka up in the top lane. That will be Firstly versus Ryu again. Firstly didn't really have the perfect game, the most ideal game, the most textbook game. As Dahaka the first time, got put out a few times, and now Konya needs to be careful because Tracer is extremely slippery, but also extremely squishy, and you can see that there. Konya will get away with about 150 HP. One more hit and that'll be GG's. Vanilla needs to be careful not to eat those orbs coming out there from, I believe it's Encore. Yes, Encore's playing the Li Ming this time. No Medivh. That just might be what they need. The specialist out for a DPS slot.
Yeah, they do need the damage there. Vicarax going in deep. He wants to get something here, but backs out. Doesn't want to give a kill too early in this game.
Yeah, ballsy play there. Ballsy play. Have a look at Hanzo's build. No surprise, he is going to go for the scatter arrow build. Simple geometry has been picked up. Fat94 just letting Encore know that he's around, knows that he's lurking, and that they won't be getting the cheeky kills in the Kazaras. Vicarax, I think he was spotted by Fat94. Yes, he was. The punish will go in. Groundbreaker doesn't actually land. Good wrecking ball though on top of the roots just for the disengage. Konya needs to be careful because all Vanilla has to do is just auto attack here while he's in W mode, and that's just basically going to be game.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage, but you can see there that they're looking for try and get some sort of early lead. And Tracer right now, it's probably the best situation for her while people don't have those big talent boosts, those talent power-ups, sort of get in there and try and get something done. Don't forget that Tracer does have access to heroic right from the word go. So she's basically just trying to build the natural stack of that so she can drop the bomb on someone like Phoenix or even onto that nice little John there on Hanzo.
Yeah, could be John, could be Phoenix, it could even be on Mad Hacks on the Uther, depending on how low you get him, because don't forget his heals are strong, but also the cooldowns, they are long. Take that, Skinny, I'm the real rap god of ANZ.
Alright, so it's moving on from that note. So we see here that Mindfreak are picking up their camp. It looks like there's a rotation now coming down from Pleb2Pro to catch out, but they are too late, and Mindfreak will get away with it.
Vicarax now going in, trying to find somebody here. It's Mad Hacks who's caught out. There's the bomb we were talking about. You called it, Disco. Telegraphed play. The bomb landing on top of Phoenix during the kill. Mad Hacks just narrowly getting away as well. So the picks, they need to be strong, and they are so far. And Pleb2Pro, they'll be pretty happy with that. We're going into the first Immortal phase, and with a one-man advantage, they're going to start their DPS.
That is a great pickup on the team. Picking up Tracer and being able to get that kill there. I really love that thought, and that's what we want to see Konya do at the start of every Immortal phase. Get a kill onto someone for Mindfreak. It's really going to hurt their positioning, and the further the game goes on, the more punishing that gets.
So the race is on now. So far, currently being won ever so slightly by Pleb2Pro. No, Mindfreak have actually just managed to claw themselves back. Dahaka up in the top lane probably isn't helping the race case at the moment, but it's helping the EXP case, and I think it's only a level 1 Immortal, so Pleb2Pro will be quite comfortable with that one. Dahaka is all the way back in spawn. There's the Brush Stalker now. It's coming in. He heals it up. Comes in from behind. Will firstly get the tongue off. The Essence Swarm goes in. Vicarax just narrowly gets away there. Konya trying to deal chunks, but unfortunately is unable to do so. But nevertheless, they managed to get the kill there. Phoenix falls. Vicarax trying to chase down the kill, get the Groundbreaker, Wrecking Ball combo off. It's not going to be enough though, and Pleb2Pro, even though that they are so low on the Immortal here, Mindfreak, they're not down and out, they're trying to get the cheeky kills here. In comes Johanna now with the Condemn, will blow it, trying to race them down. 154 HP is all that they need. They get it in the end. Well done, that was extremely close there, Disco.
That's a beautiful player. You see the value of Garrosh right now, Vikarak, wrecking balling the enemy team into his own Immortals. AoE effects, stun effects, and it's such a devastating and a fun thing to do. So it's when you can do something that's fun and has a great payoff, you know, you're just succeeding as life, and that's what Pleb2Pro is doing right now in this game. They look like they're having a monster of a game and enjoying it as well.
Yep, Vanilla coming back in there, this time not on the support, but is on the Phoenix, and already finding heaps of value, fighting under the legs of his Immortal, but because the shield was so low, Pleb2Pro make pretty short work of it. And as we say that, the minions come back up on the map, the objectives will spawn, the camps will spawn, and Pleb2Pro, they already know what's up, they're going down there. Sonic Arrow will actually spot Vikarak coming out here, Vanilla does not care, neither does Fat94, the recall blown nice and early by Konya. Now he just needs to be careful of that. It is down for a while, so he just bides his time, waits for the rest of his teammates to create a distraction, because he sees everybody at the back line. He sees John, he sees Madhax just goblining around there, but he's out of position now. In comes Madhax, he's actually going to spot him, land the Hammer of Justice. Konya gets away, or does he? Vanilla just trying to land the cheeky hits there with that Plasma Cutter, will connect one, and I think Konya will be pretty happy that he survived that one.
Yeah, you can see that great positioning there by Madhatch, Uther. You know, he's looking at the angles, where can Tracer come in, and positions themselves in that, waiting for the stun to really slow down the momentum to get onto a kill of John or Vanilla. Love it. Great playing, great just awareness, just not awareness of your own team and where they are, but just the gameplay and the plan of the enemy team.
So the Khazra's now in the bot lane. Pleb2Pro are trying to take this one here, just chunking out the poke damage. Vikarak on the front line, taking a fair bit. He gets a lot of armor, but no spell armor. Konya now goes extremely deep, and John just survives. Great clutch healing coming out there from Madhax to keep him alive there. And at level 8 apiece now, the camps will be taken by Pleb2Pro, but I think Mindfreak will be quite pleased with themselves after that fight.
Yeah, look, Fat94 staying in the bottom lane there. He's going to clean up that Merc camp. So they're probably just going to give up a lot of damage on this Immortal phase right now, waiting for Fat94 to get back in here. But this is going to be a bit of a devastating play. Both teams are level 8 on an equal playing field. Love to see how they actually transition.
Setting up for the engage now, still level 8 apiece. Still not really anybody's game. You can see Phoenix down in the bot lane. Vanilla slow to come to the party here. Konya though gets baited in by Madhax into the jet propulsion, into the Hammer of Justice, and now he's at 50% HP. Firstly goes deep, blows the Essence Swarm. Vikarak now extremely, well, very much so, well overextended. Manages to get away with his life. Now we'll go back in. Eats a jet propulsion from Ryu. Fire bath for days. Fat94 comes in and bathes in it as well. Gets thrown away by Vikarak here on the disengage, so the cooldown on Wrecking Ball will need to be reset before it's used again. John and the rest of the boys here from Mindfreak are just quite happy to play the poke game.
Yeah, and they've got Hanzo, so they've got one of the best characters in the game to do this. And yep. Pleb2Pro need to know that, so they've gone in for a big engage.
Oh wow, John actually used his natural agility to get over the wall, but ran straight into a wild Vikarak, who Wrecking Balled him back to where he came from. The cleanse was good coming out from Madhax, just to stop any more CC coming his way, because should he have gone down, that would have been disastrous for Mindfreak. But Pleb2Pro, even though they didn't get the kill, they create the zoning effect that they need and allow themselves to rotate down to their own Immortal. Konya trying to get his work done here as Tracer, just unable to find a little bit of magic that we've seen at the start of this game. Already 2 frags over to Pleb2Pro, but Mindfreak not letting that phase them.
Yeah, look, they've got a good lead here now. Mindfreak positioned there for the Immortal changeover before Pleb2Pro, and it's on again.
Yep, they are just juking it out here. Ryu extremely deep, and Pleb2Pro, they take the advantage and they roll with it. Encore getting those resets, gets himself a Phoenix and a Blaze. Almost picked up Uther for his troubles as well. And the experience lead was in favor of Mindfreak, but Pleb2Pro have clawed it back. They're going to get level 10 and catch out John on the Hanzo. This is not the Mindfreak we know. This is not the Mindfreak we're accustomed to. And at the moment, Pleb2Pro just taking any sort of little advantages they can get and just capitalizing.
Then level 10 just picked up in time for Mindfreak at the start of this Immortal. I mean, could have been detrimental, right? Pleb2Pro could have had a big play here, but nope, it has been equalized. So Mindfreak now can, really back up the Immortal they've won here and potentially get good value from it. If they choose to do that, they are a bit scattered, so they're not in the best position, but they can fight if they want to.
You got Firstly up in the top lane. I don't think Brush Stalker is available just as... Oh, sorry, it is. He's going to utilize that now. Maybe catch somebody out. There it is. Konya goes in. The trigger is pulled. A point blank Dragon's Arrow will come out for John for the stun. Nothing more than that. It was enough for the disengage. And that just allows Vanilla there on our favorite Dragoon just to sit back and just pop off damage with Plasma Cutter, with his W, and the Immortal, meanwhile, that pushes up forward and takes himself a fort.
Oh, and look at that. Dahaka gets taken out. Ryu rotates it from the top all the way down to the bottom lane. Gets a kill right at the end of the Immortal phase. And this means that Mindfreak here can steal the camp. And you might see him rotate up to the top lane and even take out that top fortification as well, while Pleb2Pro has to deal with the Mercs.
Yep, so the Shaman camp now is up. That's good for Mindfreak. Now what they can do is just play the macro game. They can sit back, mop up this map. They can just turn it all red. And they're going to do exactly that. After taking the Shamans, they're going to go up, take the top Kazaras, and then they'll get a slow rotation going on. With Ryu down in that bottom lane, that's going to secure them enough time. That's what they need. They're either going to push the fort here or go for the camp. It looks like they're going to make the call to go for the fort here because Ryu would have said, hey lads, they're all down here. Now they're coming up for a rotation. Just be careful. These guys are no fools. They pull the pin on this push and just be comfortable about it. But in goes Firstly, gets thrown in there by Vicarak. Madhax is actually going to get pinched here.
Ooh, stolen from the line of Mindfreak. Garage getting Big D there on the wrecking ball, wrecking Uther. I love it there. Mindfreak thought they got away scot-free, but not when Garage is down. He's a war chief to love, to adore, and to be brutally punished if you get in his way.
18 seconds and ticking until the next Immortal, and surgical timing, Mindfreak will actually get their Shaman camp going on. That's when you want it. Just as the Immortal spawning, you want pressure in your lane, and that's why they're the champions. They know how to time things. Now that that's sticking up in the top lane, that's going to force somebody from Pleb2Pro to answer that, and Mindfreak will get themselves a favorable spawn here on the Immortal. And look at the value that Hanzo applies with those serrated arrows. Remember, once upon a time, that was 200% damage boost. It's now only 100, still ridiculously strong. And just look at how quick the Immortal's HP just melts.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Pleb2Pro aren't doing anything really to challenge it, but they're not really cleaning up the Mercs in the top lane either. It'd be an interesting play here. A little bit of deer in the headlight situation as Fat94 is slowly engaging.
Firstly goes in, tries to land the tongue on Dahaka. The bomb is there. The burrow is good to nullify that. Now in goes the Warlord's challenge. We'll connect a couple. Dragon's Arrow for good measure. The Purification Salvo is silenced by the Twilight Dream. Vanilla needs to be careful here. Madhax has got burst healing and it will be enough to keep him alive just long enough. So Dahaka and Malfurion both fall here for Pleb2Pro, and Mindfreak with the advantage should be able to get themselves an Immortal and a kill. No, just the Immortal. That's not bad. They got themselves 2 already. Let's not get greedy. That is supreme play. The Immortal's going to be, what, 80% shield as well? It should be the top lane. It will be. And enough work was done to that fortification to basically get this Immortal basically at its max strength that it can be by the time it reaches the key.
Oh, that fortification in this lane should be gone. Like, if the Immortal hits that, something's gone wrong in Mindfreak. Someone should just go in there. It looks like it might be the boys finally taking it down. The Immortal didn't even know it existed. It may well have not been there.
Yep. So let's see what they can do here. Will this be the win condition? I mean, it's early, but it's Mindfreak also. One team wipe here and no damage to the Immortal, and that could very well be the game. But if Pleb2Pro get one cheeky frag, that's just the way HOTS rolls, baby. Let's see who is going to come out in this fight. Vanilla on the backline with that Plasma Cutter, dealing a lot of damage to the Garrosh. Gets himself flipped for good measure, but will actually be able to get away, or will he? No, he gets interrupted when he went for the blink. and gets taken down. So the bunker will actually be utilized by John in the end there. A Hoik goes out from Fat94. What can he do? Condemn is going to collect 4 here. Big Twilight Dream comes across, gets Mad Hack, so no Uther, no Fat94, and Mindfreak are just falling over. Pleb2Pro just capitalizing on the greed, the sheer greed there from Mindfreak. There's no way that Ryu is going to take, be able to get away from Konya. But Konya's, he decides against the chase.
Look, it's a good kill, but look back in their base. That Immortal's wrecking into that core. It's not going to take it out, but gee, 44%. It gets a little bit of a revenge strike right at the last second. That is costly.
Yep. Yep, and 44% as well. Imagine if that Phoenix kill went over to Mindfreak. Imagine if the wheels just started falling off the Pleb2Pro wagon. We would be sitting and looking at the score screen right now, Disco, but I'm glad that we aren't. Both teams are level 15. We're going to hit probably 16 at around the same time, you would think. And this game, look, it's 9-3 in terms of kills in favor of Pleb2Pro. Against any other team, you would back them in here with momentum, right?
Oh, but you look at the map though, it's like a reflection. Pleb2Pro have the 9 kills, but where's all the structures? Mindfreak, well, I guess you could say Pleb2Pro don't have them.
So the top and bottom camp's going to be taken respectively, 1 apiece. Pleb and Mindfreak, will they do the dance? Will they go for the rotation? Well, there's not really much Pleb2Pro can do here, except be defensive, because one team wipe, Mindfreak are just going to run it down top and go and take out the core. Now, first he needs to be careful here. Again, remember what happened in the previous game, getting himself actually caught. He's going for the cheeky Hearthstone here. He will get away. Nobody's actually going to spot this, apart from the hammer. Ooh, close. Cigar.
MVP hammer. All right, I like that Pleb2Pro looking to invade. They're setting up to invade. I don't know if they want to commit, but they are thinking about it. Merc's been picked up, so they know they are way too late. But we're just going to highlight how important is there no keep in the top lane right now as this Immortal spawns. That's basically 3 Mercs in the top lane because of the catapults, and Mindfreak have Mercs as well. So it's like double the murky goodness.
Double the murky goodness. I like it. Sonic Arrow now comes out. We'll actually spot Physics and a couple other Pleb2Pro members, but Mindfreak, they don't care how many are around. They want to get the DPS in this Immortal. We talked a little bit earlier on, Disco, about how they're able to do that at range with this Hanzo, with this Phoenix, and with Fat94 just being an absolute nuisance on the front line. Interesting to note that he did actually need to blow Iron Skin nice and early. So this is where Pleb2Pro can get a cheeky engage on, knowing that cooldown is on. Will Vicarak actually be able to catch him out here? There it is, it's back up again. So already Johanna just timing to perfection here, the cooldowns on all of these abilities. Now, the Sonic Arrow will actually go out. Here goes the Dragon's Arrow. Vanilla tries to fire that laser. Walked into the bunker as he was shooting the salvo. That was a misclick if ever I've seen one. And so no damage coming out there from Purification, and Pleb2Pro, I think they'll be happy with that.
I should say, it's really funny. We actually heard the sound, though.
Yeah.
We did hear the Purification beams fire, but it didn't, I don't think it actually connected.
That's quite funny, isn't it? When a bunker works against you, I've never seen that before. I've heard of the Entomb on Leoric working against you. Never have I heard of the bunker, but hey, it does have its flaws.
It's the safety bunker for both teams in this match. But both teams actually in really good position right now. Both Immortals are fairly well damaged, obviously in the favor of Mindfreak. But nice defense coming out of Pleb2Pro. They are going to try and keep this bay as long as they can. But every moment, it's more catapults in the top lane against them.
So with about 50% left on this Immortal to go, Mindfreak are happy to play this one slowly. They know that if they get a team wipe here or the Immortal, they basically win the game. So Pleb2Pro, they also know that. They're playing super defensively. They don't want to give anything out. Fat94.
But this is the crazy thing, Kid. I didn't even prop you there. Even if they don't do anything and nothing else happens for the rest of this game, those catapults will push into the 44% core of Pleb2Pro. Mindfreak don't have to do anything to win.
The ball is in the court of Pleb2Pro. The Blessed Shield will actually go out and only collect firstly, so Fat94 now doesn't have that. Oh, the Warlord's Challenge misses! Great timing with the bunker there, and by the people who clicked it, I'm talking about everybody on Mindfreak. That Warlord's Challenge that was nearly deadly. And you're talking about it, Disco. Those catapults are actually on the mid tower at the moment, but it's going to be enough, I think, that forces firstly to go back and deal with it. So Mindfreak are going to spot that, and there's just nothing Pleb2Pro can do here. They're being crushed by the mathematics of this game. They've spotted him over there now, and now they say, hey, this is 4v5, let's go. Yes, the Brush Stalker is up, but he can't utilize it yet. We're still waiting for the Purification Salvo from Phoenix. The big plays, it is up, it's not on cooldown. 10 seconds until we see another bunker, Disco. Ults were used, but we've just been doing the tango that long that the fight is going to pop off yet again.
Like I said, the longer this goes, the better Mindfreak benefit from it. They don't have to win this fight to win the game.
Still up in that top lane is firstly, they're just waiting to pop off here. Mindfreak just need to get down there because the poke damage Pleb2Pro is getting off on the Mindfreak Immortal. Li Ming is going to get this done for them. Encore left completely unchecked, just launches the magic missiles. I don't think Mindfreak have got this. Uther goes down, but Pleb2Pro have got themselves the Immortal.
Oh, and you know, this is an interesting value here. Heroes dropping on both sides right now. As the dust settles, is the Immortal in the favor of Mindfreak, like you said? No, sorry, in the favor of actually Pleb2Pro. That is good save from them, and in the top lane as well.
So big plays from Pleb2Pro. They're not down and out yet. In fact, they've got the level advantage here. That is because, firstly, was up in that top lane, giving his team the juice that it needed to get through here. So the catapults, yes, only at 44%. Oh, sorry, the core only at 44%, but the catapults were just unable to deal with that. And Mindfreak, yeah, so what? They lose the Immortal. They're going to make short work of it before it even scratches their fort. They just, I feel like they're delaying the inevitable here.
Yeah, it was really fun. I was talking about how much, you know, like Mindfreak, they don't have to do anything here, but maybe they were defensive, Kitbox, maybe too defensive, and it really it gave, not only did it give time for Pleb2Pro to soak experience,
look at this,
get that level lead.
Look at this. Mindfreak, they realize that they need to do something here. You talked about how important that no keep was. The closer that P2P are, the closer that P2P are to level 20 right now, Mindfreak need to make something happen. As soon as 20 is hit, it's going to be game. Will this be the kill? Malfurion is going to get taken down. No, the ice block comes in just in the nick of time. There's the bunker. Physics is down. Huge plays, massive picks, big engages coming out here from Mindfreak. You cannot compliment them enough. They've got no healer now. Do Pleb2Pro, Ryu, forced to blow out the jet propulsion. Firstly, he's going to go down. There is no Malfurion, no regrowth procs, no hope. A fantastic Divine Shield coming out there from Mad Hacks to keep himself alive. GG Mindfreak.
Mindfreak right at the end decided that it was time to win. Click, click, boom!
Yep.
That's it. Pleb2Pro. Being pushed, dumbed down, you know, they're still, unfortunately, in that moment, a little bit of pleb to pleb, maybe. Now, that might be a bit too savage. I'll take that one back. But Mindfreak showing why they are the dominating factor here in the ANZ region, showcasing that, look, when the time comes, when they want to win, Kit Fox, when they want to win, they will. And that's it, taking this series 2-0 against Pleb2Pro.
Well, Disco, what a game. What a game, what a series, and what a night. Really, the game's just popped off. Mindfreak just showing us why they are so good. They were behind in terms of experience, in terms of kills. They weren't behind in map control, but everything else was just against them. They were so close to being at a level 20 disadvantage that they said, we need to go, and we need to go now. And that is exactly what they did. They caught Physics out of position, forced out the ice block, threw everything that they had, including the kitchen sink at that Malfurion, got him, and as soon as he fell, that was it. But before we wrap it up, my man, have you got any final words?
Oh, look, that game there, just finally on Mindfreak, it just, again, shows you why they are the best. Their objective control and their mercenary control were just on point the entire game. Just kept pressuring Pleb2Pro. You saw them, they had the kill lead. You think, wow, they had the kill lead. They must be doing good during the objective phases. Not true, because Mindfreak just kept putting on the pressure into each lane. And you know what? You could win the fights, but when your core is at 44% health, something's gone terribly wrong.
And that's it. And Mindfreak just able to capitalize on that. In the end, they lost the Immortal. Didn't need it. Too good. If you missed the first game of the night, you missed Twisted Vision taking the victory against Xylophone Dudes in 2-0. Again, the scoreline does not do that game justice. Make sure you get over there, check out the VODs, because they were an absolutely fantastic set of games. But that is going to be it from us, ladies and gentlemen. I've been joined by Daddy Disc and Kerr. It's been an absolute pleasure here being with you tonight. My name is Kit Fox, and thank you so much to the near 500 viewers we've got there in the Blizzard ANZ Twitch chat. It's good to see that your love for HOTS is still going strong. We are, of course, proudly supported by McDonald's. So once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. Thank you to all the admins. Thank you to Blizzard. Thank you to GameStar. Thank you to everybody involved with this production. We look forward to seeing you here again next Tuesday night for more Premier Div action. And if you want to, sorry, 2 weeks. We actually have a break next week. So this is the mid-season break. And then we'll be jumping into more HOTS. And that will give you time to sort your open division team out. If you think these guys are a little bit too strong for you, don't stress. We've got a lower level competition. Maybe you will get promoted to Div 1. That's the goal. So on behalf of Disco, Crisis the producer, admins of Vexium, Blank, and everybody else, of course, my Fox, thank you so much for being here. And we look forward to the pleasure of your company.